What is your drug of choice? LSD. It's not what the US government made it out to be decades ago. Psychedelics have some serious potential in battling mental illness and addiction. I was a pot smoker, but prolonged use made me feel like a zombie. Whereas LSD kicked me out of my lazy stupor, as well as aiding me to dissolve the unfair grudge I held against my mother. Unlike THC and many other substances, classical psychedelics are impossible to become addicted to. I enjoy psilocybin mushrooms, but they make my tummy grumble. Soda was harder for me to quit versus cigarettes. I can have one now and again. At super nervous I'ma get hooked again, so I usually choose to skip it. Caffeine I'm hooked hard. I'd probably sleep better if I quit, but I love coffee and Monster Rehab. Opiates, just a couple perks, 1x a month. Just lets me get just for a few hours. I don't drink, smoke, or do any other drugs. I've gone months without. I never crave more. Just enjoy the high. Then back to the grind. B12 is also awesome. Caffeine and Lexapro. Past me would say weed. But no. Looking back, that substance took a hold of my brain and kept me from reaching my full potential. It felt great in the moment, but no. FK that poison. Well, it depends. Mornings I like to start with coffee with a lot of sugar and some milk. Then I take my Vyvanse favorite. Then I smoke weed, depends on my mood if the Vyvanse has made me anxious or not. Benzos unfortunately. Ambien as well. But quit that one because of the trouble I'd get in while under the influence. Was sober for a while and fell back on the train. Trying to get off Xanax now. Hormones. Testosterone is amazing. You don't have the side effects of anabolics. Recovery is enhanced, you feel better. Hard to imagine living without the stuff after being on for years. Real drugs. I hate them all except mushrooms, they really just don't feel like a compromise to me. We're on a cruise today and plan to take some while watching the mountains. Clean 13 years. Before that, if you asked me what was my drug of choice, I would have said, what have you got? Speed was my main though. Prefer weird kinds of pseudo speedballs, like heroin, LSD, or clonazepam amphetamines. But ultimately probably DMT. If I could only pick two, it would be alcohol and psychedelics. Would suck to live without nicotine and caffeine though. My favorite is probably mushrooms, but you can't be doing them all. The daily driver has always been pot. Weed helps with my anxiety. Enjoyed MDMA when I was younger. Now just weed, and occasionally a glass of wine. MDMA. Haven't done in about 10 years and probably never will again due to have prominent vendors. Hard work and success. Drugs are for losers who are lazy in life and want everything handed to them. Stimulants. The stronger the better. Love getting a week's worth of things done in just a day or two. Heroin, crack, Xanax, alcohol, and pretty much anything else I can get my hands on. Unfortunately, both sides of my family has addiction and schizophrenia in our genetics, not worth the risk. Alcohol and amphetamine. I use amphetamine very rare, 'cause I'm totally busted 3 days after. Weed daily, but cut down to only social gatherings and weekend. In moderation I believe in. Sports if you're really into it. Trust me, it's an addiction stronger than lot of drugs. I'd do ecstasy every day if I could. It's the only thing that helps with my depression. LSD for a mental reset, weed to loosen up the shoulders, nicotine to stay present. Cigarettes and Adderall, perception with doctor's control, can't function without. Cocaine, if I had one drug that I could do all my life, will be cocaine. Hehe. Adderall makes literally everything better. It's like a reality amplifier. As of right now, being 3 hours into a trip, LSD is now my favorite. DMT, mushrooms a close second. Cannabis a not too distant third. Working out with music that's making me overthink about my goal. Caffeine, cannabis, Celexa, Wellbutrin, capsaicin and tobacco. Daily use of birth control. This gal is not having babies.